everyone, I am doing a topic on brainstem respiratory center. This is where autonomic unconscious cycle of breathing is controlled by three pair of respiratory centers in the reticular formation of medulla oblongata and the pons. You can see here pons and medulla oblongata. There is one of each on the right and the left side of the brainstem. The two sides communicate with each other so that respiratory muscle contracts symmetrically. Medullary rhythmic center is found in medulla oblongata and has two groups, the ventral respiratory group and the dorsal respiratory. We're going to talk about the ventral first. Ventral respiratory group, right here, as you can see, it is the primary generator of respiratory rhythm. It is how often, this is where it shows how often we are inhaling. And in ventral respiratory group, neuron circuit produce a respiratory rhythms of about 12 breaths per minute. Neuron circuit fires for about 2 seconds at a time, issuing nerve signals to integrating centers in the spinal cord. Output from the spinal center travels by the perinephric nerve to the diaphragm. As you can see right there, the diaphragm nerve passes through, and by the way of intercostal nerve to the external intercostal muscle. The contraction of this muscle enlarges the thoracic cage and causes inspirations, meaning inhalation. The dorsal respiratory group also works in inspiration. This is where another wave of neuron that extends for much of a length of a medulla between ventral respiratory group in the central canal of the brainstem. And breathing can be faster, slower, or deeper because of the ventral respiratory group is subject to influence from the external source. The dorsal respiratory group issues output to ventral respiratory group that modifies respiratory rhythm to adapt to various conditions. So last but not least, phenotach center, which is in the respiratory center in the pons. Right there, respiratory center in pons. It regulates a shift from inspiration to expiration in quiet breathing. Each of the pons has each side of pons has a respiratory group called phenotach center. Phenotach center. You can see those two right there. They're called pontonic respiratory group. And that they modify the rhythmic of the ventral respiratory group. This group receives input from higher brain center, including the hypothalamus, which is from here, cerebral cortex, and issues output to both dorsal respiratory group and ventral respiratory group. By acting on those centers in the medulla, it fastens or delays a transition from inspiration to expiration, making each breath shorter or shallower or longer or deeper. The phenotach center adapts breathing to special circumstances like sleeping, exercising, emotional response like crying, laughing. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.